Welcome back. Thank you guys for coming. Had something interesting to talk about this time. So, the last time we talked about my comment section. We went through my comment section, looked at some stuff. Thought it was really fascinating to go through that and see what some people said. I also looked at my spam in my comment section, which I basically never do. And I talked about spam last time. It's basically just anything with links, pretty much. Anybody who puts a whole bunch of spaces in between in the comments or whatever, YouTube will filter that out and put it in the spam section. So I figure we may take a quick look at spam in a little bit. But for the moment, I wanted to take a look at a comment I found on the podcast channel. So let me read this to you guys. It's from somebody named Inform Ant. Here's what the comment says. Curious. Is this telltale, quote unquote, on YouTube the same grifter who came on here a few years ago and announced similar plans, along with plans to produce a film? If memory serves, the film, or maybe his alter ego, was Losing My Religion. His own mother wouldn't even give him money. And as a test, I did give him some $, comma, $, and in a flash, he traveled north and south, up to Europe, down to Africa, up to Europe, bought cameras, ate nice dinners, etc. Soon the money was gone, and along with it, the assistance, so assistants, who helped him spend it on cameras and software, and a lawyer who was supposed to help get a completion bond for the film project. Too bad he never got the completion bond. If he had, he might have been able to wring some money out of an insurance company. And then it goes into another comment from somebody else. But so this person here has spun this story about this telltale fellow. I have no idea what he's talking about. I have never asked for money for any projects before. I've never created a GoFundMe in my life. I have no idea where this is coming from. He says, I had plans to produce a film. I have never had plans to produce a film in my life, ever. Let's see, it says his own mother wouldn't give him money. Well, no, my mom would not give me money because she's shunning me. So obviously she wouldn't give me shit. Let's see, what else? Says, I traveled north and south up to Europe, down to Africa, and then up to Europe again, apparently. I've never been out of the country before, so I don't know where that's coming from either. It says, bought cameras, ate nice dinners. Soon the money was gone, along with it, the assistants who helped me spend it on cameras and software. This is just coming out of nowhere. I have no idea what this guy is talking about. But then he goes on to say a little bit more. So it gets a little bit more convoluted from here. Basically, where this is coming from, it's coming from a website called jehovahswitness.com or something like that. It's like an ex-Jehovah's Witness forum. And somebody mentioned me in the forum there, and they said, I recommend contacting Telltale on YouTube. He wants to set up a nonprofit for a home for shunned homeless kids. I think this should be a major priority. The gay community has it down pat with the secular safe house. Nothing for straight kids yet, sadly. That's the comment that I found on the ex-Jehovah's Witness forum. That's not true either. I never said anything about creating a safe house for anybody. That's way beyond my skill set or expertise. I don't know how to run group homes. I don't know the legal issues involved in it. I would never do something like that. It's not in my wheelhouse at all. I have talked about starting a nonprofit where I might give money to certain specific ex-Jehovah's Witnesses who are very young and trying to go to college and things like that. I haven't really formed the idea out completely yet, so it's not really public yet. But I did say I was talking about starting a nonprofit on the John Cedars channel, so that's probably what this dubstep person was talking about, like on the Jehovah's Witness forum, about me setting up a nonprofit and things. Incorrect, though, about me starting a homeless shelter for the shunned kids. I never said that. So anyways, this guy, Inform Ant, basically quotes this dubstep person talking about how I wanted to set up the nonprofit. And he says, is this the same Telltale, the grifter who came in a few years ago, announced plans about a movie and all that junk? And then at the end he says, Kevin Teppo wants to set up an ex-Jehovah's Witness safe house too, yet he has a large bankruptcy trial in Google. I don't know who this Kevin Teppo is. I don't know anything about any safe houses. And I don't know that a bankruptcy would completely disqualify you from contributing to the community or running a nonprofit or whatever. I mean, people have hard times, you know. 2007 and 2008 was a thing. There was an economic crash at one time. Those things happen. I've never filed bankruptcy myself, but I am not going to say you are completely disqualified from any kind of activism for the rest of your life because of those bankruptcies. This is a really good example of somebody crucifying somebody else wrongfully. I don't know. Maybe this Kevin Teppo dude isn't a good guy. I have no idea. But this guy is just going around throwing his name around and saying he's got a ton of bankruptcies and he's a fraud is basically what he's saying. So in response to this message, to this comment, I said, no, that wasn't me. And just left it at that. Because he was describing somebody that was not me. And then he said, but you do want to start an ex-Jehovah's Witness NGO, right? Non-government organization. That is what Diogenesister says over on Simon's forum. Why do you guys all want to get into this business? Is it because you see how well Lloyd Evans is making his living now? You see how easy and lucrative it can be? So many Jehovah's Witnesses coming out will need you guys, yes? I mean, where else can they go, right? Here is his post. I recommend contacting Telltale, blah, 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 wants to start a nonprofit. It's the thing I said from before. There is also now a kid named Kevin Teppo /JW, abuse hotline, who says that he has set you safe houses for young people, wants people to donate property, but when you Google him with the word Jehovah, you see he has many bankruptcies. What the fuck is going on with these groups where just any ex-Jehovah's Witness can defraud people in the name of activism? And then my response to this was, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not involved in any of these groups. I've never heard of any of these people. And I never said anything about starting a safe house for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. I talked about starting a nonprofit, but didn't go into great detail about it, about what I wanted to do with it. I do have plans for it, but it isn't public yet. This is a problem to me. This is how rumors start. I mean, people buy this stuff. This is just some jagoff on the internet just saying random BS that, like, literally none of it is true. Like, not a single word of that was true. It wasn't even based in truth. There's, like, not even, you know, most things have some grain of truth in there somewhere. This is not one of those things. I don't know where any of this came from. But he can come on here and he can go in any forums he wants, any, you know, message boards or Facebook groups or whatever, and say whatever he wants. And people will buy it. In fact, I went to that forum just out of curiosity. I wanted to see, like, where this started. And pretty much what happened was that was, like, his comment was a direct quote from the message board. So Diogenesister in this message board said, Dubstepped, I recommend contacting Telltale. He wants to set up a nonprofit for a home for shunned homeless kids. I think this should be a major priority. The gay community has it down pat with their secular safe house, but nothing for straight kids yet, sadly. You'd make a great person to run it, as you have a lot of trust and goodwill in this community. And then this guy, Nathan Natas or something, I guess. Then he said all that junk about me going to Europe and then Africa and then Europe again. And I don't even know where it's coming from. And then this person dubstepped in response to what Nathan said. Dubstep says, I think the above is kind of why I tend to do my own thing. I've heard too many awful stories about people going in together on ex-Jehovah's Witness projects. So then I responded and I said, I don't know anything about plans to produce a film. I've never been out of the country. I don't even have a passport. Haven't said anything about safe houses. Haven't even created the nonprofit yet. So even if I wanted to take donations for it, I couldn't. If you guys need information about my activities or plans, then you can get them straight from my channel. Do me a straight solid and don't believe bullshit rumors about anybody. I just think it's fascinating how people can say literally just anything they want and they'll be believed. Talking about this on my channel brings attention to it, but I'm confident enough that nobody is actually going to believe this, that I'll bring it on my channel, because it's just so completely out there and ridiculous. This does not upset me in any way. In fact, I find it comical. What does upset me is when people say halfway believable bullshit things about me and spread it as far as they can. That bothers me. And not just me. They say halfway believable bullshit things about a lot of people. I mean, I've seen a lot of YouTubers and others get completely crucified by people wrongfully. They did not deserve any of that shit. So anyway, it's just something to think about. Like, don't believe everything you see and hear, especially if it's in a YouTube comment, because there is nothing about this that's true. Literally nothing. I did find it interesting, though. I figured we'd go through just a few comments on YouTube at the top, and then we'd take a look at spam. So this first one, today I released a video called, what was it? How to control, what was it? Hang on. Yeah, how to control people through shame and guilt. That's what it was. And it was a Steven Anderson video. It was like a collab with Surus, the YouTuber Surus. He's a pretty cool guy. Really hard worker. He really helped me out with this video. But anyway, yeah, it was a Steven Anderson video where the guy was just acting like a nutcase and yelling at people and, you know, it was just crazy. So anyway, this person, Skeptical Jed, said, I've been following Anderson for years and years. Try to learn what he acts and preaches the way he does. It's just fascinating to me. Most of what he preaches is actually biblical. I know. It's all crazy as hell, and I agree. Interesting. It's actually biblical. I don't know about that entirely. I think that you can use the Bible to reach any conclusion. I think you can get any conclusion from it. It's just a matter of which verses you cherry pick, because it's a big book. It's got like 23,000 verses in it or something like that. It's huge. And it's contradictory in a lot of places, the Bible is. Like, whether you're a Christian or not, you have to understand that there are a lot of contradictions in it. So naturally, you're going to be able to find verses to support any position that you want to support. You want to condemn gay relationships. You know, you've got the verses from the Old Testament about men lying with another man and it being an abomination, and then you got the things that Paul said. But you want to support gay marriage, you can say Jesus said love everybody and don't judge and all of that other stuff. There is a verse for every opinion. You can use the Bible to justify anything. So anyway, you're really using your own moral compass when you read the Bible. You're not using the Bible's moral compass. Now, people latch on to an ideology that they pick up from a church, and they use that as their moral compass. So there is that. But really, the Bible doesn't have much of a uniform, solid, clearly defined moral compass. Not as much as people seem to think it does. Why did the guy want to remain in the church anyway? So his friend could record the preacher losing his shit? Yeah, that was weird. Like, the guy was sitting there after the pastor told him to leave. Why didn't he just stand up and leave? It's crazy. I made a video because Jehovah's Witnesses were, I guess a lot of their kingdom halls are getting burned down, or they have been lately, and I made a video condemning that, saying that that's wrong. We should not be supporting that. Put out a message to the arsonist, and somebody said, let it burn. No, that's not helpful at all. It's not good. We're going to downvote that. See, the King James Version is a false, cultic, and evil translation of the Bible, period. What? The King James Version is a false, cultic, and evil translation of the Bible. What makes it cultic? What makes it evil? False, I'll get on board. But the other two, that's bizarre. Anyone else think Anderson sounds like Trump? Get him out of here. Get out of here. Yeah, he did a little bit, I guess. This story made me cry a little. Thanks for sharing. That was in reference to my The Life of an Ex-Jehovah's Witness video. This was about, like, this is kind of like my life story, basically. That was a pretty sad video. Sad to make. Sad video to make. Anyway, let's see. This guy is really scary. I feel so bad for the kids being raised in this church. Being raised Mormon was bad enough, but being raised in that church, Jesus fucking Christ, those kids are going to need some serious help. Yeah. Talking about the Steven Anderson video I did today. I agree. It's not good. It's going to damage them emotionally to be around that stuff. It's really sad. Does anyone else feel comfortable with listening to a screaming angry man and crying children? Yeah, I mean, that's what was happening. The pastor, Steven Anderson, was screaming at people. And there were crying kids and everything. It was just crazy. It's really sad. So Jehovah's Witnesses are stupid as hell, basically. Sounds like the next time missionaries come to my door, I should really tell them off for being sexist, gay-hating pieces of garbage. No, you shouldn't. You should treat them like human beings, the human beings that they are. They're brainwashed suckers. They're just poor suckers stuck in something. That's it. Have sympathy for them. Invite them in. Give them some water. Chat with them. Maybe try some of my deprogramming techniques. I was mistreated when I was a Jehovah's Witness. You don't need to mistreat them. Mormons or anybody else. Anyway, okay, so let's take a look at spam out of curiosity. I want to see what's in here. I haven't been in here in a long time, so. Okay, so this guy left a comment and it went through. Skeptical Jed put a comment on the channel. Oh, no, you know what? It was marked as spam automatically. We just read it on the main page on published comments, and now it's in spam. How crazy is that? I'll approve it. It's not spam as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. What else? So, when you're looking at spam, it gives you some context. This comment I have highlighted right now, this is not a spam comment. This is just like the comment that was put down, that the person was responding to who spammed. So the person who's apparently spamming is Jaybird Nelson, but actually I've seen them around the channel. I don't know that they're spammers. I think they just talk a lot and they put big spaces and stuff between their letters, so YouTube kind of sees that as a flag. Sandy Sue, thus saith King Anderson, off with their heads. I'll approve that comment. That doesn't seem like spam. Yeah, I heard that too. I say, oh shit! I say gas Steve before it's too late. What a sad, ignorant person. Hate is hell. Hate is hell. Are you kidding me? You just said gas Steve. What is wrong with you, man? No. Do not advocate for violence. Holy shit. Ugh. People manipulate the Bible to fit their religious beliefs. Look at all the denominations we've had and have today. The Bible contains many truths and many idioms or figures of speech. I love that he said idioms or figures of speech. He's describing it for us. I don't use the Bible to believe that God exists. I rely upon my personal experiences. And I'll tell you that God/Creator is not confined in a book or a box. That doesn't seem like spam. He's religious, but yeah, that's not spam. It doesn't seem like it to me. Let's scroll down a little bit, see if we can find any, serious douches. Okay, check this out. This is a really good example of something that YouTube will pick up. This is just spam because there's a link in here. whiteestate.org or something like that. It's spam, so delete. And then these two messages, these are marked as spam because they put, they hit enter 5 times or something. I'm one of those fucking things. We talked about prostitutes today. I'm in one of those fucking things. We talked about prostitutes today. Interesting. Yeah, that's not spam. But there's not really much I can do about it. YouTube has its own filter. that it uses to catch spam. So even if I'm not opposed to like these big spaces existing, I can't change it. I just have to go in here and accept them or not. So if you want to guarantee that your messages don't hit spam, then don't put these. I mean, sometimes they make it through anyways, but anyway. It says, don't listen to any guy who looks like a geriatric Cabbage Patch Kid, especially if he tells you to cut your Jimmy off. That's fair advice, and yeah, I will approve. That's a fine one. Also, like jw.org, a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses come here and put that link in there, and it just gets deleted, you know, because it's just gets caught by the spam filters. Let's see. The front of the church literally has a sign that says jw.org, like the church is an office. Yeah, I'm just going to delete it. I don't need any links on there. There were actually a couple of questions that I wanted to get to before I move on. Two of which I have written down here already, and then I'll talk to Potato in a second. So one of the questions was, I know a lot of folks don't count Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses as Christian. What about you? Do you count them as falling under the term Christian? And that was by Potato and Wombat. Wait, Potatoes and Wombat? Or is that plural, multiple? More than one potato? No, it's singular. One potato and one wombat. Yeah, I consider anybody Christian who says that they're Christian and follows the teachings of Jesus. Now, you can debate what those teachings are, and are Mormons really following Jesus, or are they following Joseph Smith, or do they actually believe in Jesus' teachings, or do they believe in this weird thing? They say that they believe in Jesus. They say that they follow Jesus. And that's all there is to it for me. I mean, you label yourself as things. If they claim to be Christian and they follow the teachings of Jesus, they're Christians as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, Mormons are Christian. It's a weird branch. It's a weird, like, splinter group or whatever, and they have some really weird beliefs, but they're Christian. Who cares about them sharing a label with other people? I mean, I don't know. Christian is kind of a broad term. Some people say that Catholics aren't Christians. Some people say that anybody that isn't Catholic isn't a Christian. You know, you can argue and squabble over it all you want. You can say you're the only true Christian or whatever you want to say. As far as I'm concerned, if you believe in the teachings of Jesus and you call yourself a Christian, then you're a Christian. That includes Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses. The next question I had written down was, who are your favorite music artists? Got any songs you recommend? Yes, I love Tool. It is my favorite band. I also like A Perfect Circle, obviously. It's another Maynard James Keenan band. Same singer as Tool. I'm not a huge fan of their newest album, though, Eat the Elephant. It was okay. There were a few okay songs on it. I liked Talk Talk and Disillusioned, but honestly, I didn't agree with a lot of the messaging. Like, I didn't agree with the lyrics in Disillusioned, because it's all about, like, how technology is evil and you should put your phone down and you're addicted to it and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. You know what? People always fear technology. People will always be afraid of technology, especially technology that they don't understand or something that's new and cutting edge. And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with cell phones. I think that they've done so much for us as humans. The good far outweighs the bad. So I'm not going to bitch about somebody using their phone. I don't care. I think phones have done vastly more good for us than bad. Anyway, yeah, Tool is really good. Pantera is an awesome band. One of my favorites. Love Pantera. And let's see who else. I also liked Megadeth, Metallica. And honestly, there was a period of time when I listened to Eminem for a little while. Don't give me any shit over it, okay? He's got some pretty decent songs, and I think that his view on parenting and raising his kid heavily influenced my view on parenting and raising my kids. So there is that. He did at least some good. So anyway, yeah, Pantera, Megadeth, Metallica, Tool, A Perfect Circle. Those are some of my favorite bands. Anyway, did you have like one or two questions for me by chance, Potato?
Yeah, I got a couple for you.
Okay.
From OMG It's Fallen, we've got, what do you think about the temporary shutdown?
Interesting. What do I think about the government shutdown? Honestly, I think that it's really screwing a lot of people over, and it's really, really bad. But I think in the end, it's also screwing Trump over, because historically, when presidents have tried to pass a budget that Congress didn't agree with or whatever, they would spin it like, I mean, Bill Clinton did this, and I think Obama did this. And actually, Ted Cruz spun it too. He said he puts the blame on the other person. They all put the blame on the other person. Congress has failed to pass this budget. That means the government is shutting down until Congress acts and passes the budget. Blame it on the other person. And Ted Cruz blamed, other people for it when it was really him orchestrating the entire thing. So anyway, Trump did not do that. Trump took the blame for it. That just shows how inexperienced he is politically. Like, completely inexperienced. You don't do that. You don't take the blame. You push it on to somebody else. That's what a politician would do. So I think it's screwing him over. The government shutdown is really going to damage Trump's image and credibility. And I think that he, if I can remember correctly, I think that he's reopening the government temporarily at the very least for like 3 weeks. But he didn't get his wall. That was the issue, I think, was he wanted the wall in the budget, and Congress said no. So he's opening the government back up, and he didn't get the wall. I guess he kind of failed in his mission. Kind of perplexing to me that he's had the Senate and the House this whole time, up until the latest election, the midterms, and he didn't push the wall through then for the budget. I mean, obviously I'm missing something. Obviously, for one reason or another, he couldn't. I just don't know why he couldn't. It's just bizarre to me that he waited until Democrats were voted into Congress before proposing that budget. I'm probably showing my ignorance on the discussion right now, but it's just weird. Like, he literally controlled the entire government. I mean, the Republicans controlled the entire government. The legislative branch, the executive branch, and even the judicial branch is majority Republican at this moment. And the dude didn't pass the budget then? Why is he waiting till now? Anyway. Okay, do you have one more question for me?
Sure. We've got from Jolly Duck. Do you plan on making earlier podcasts one more catered to the European viewers again?
Yes, I do. It's going to be soon. I did one a couple of weeks back. I don't remember, like a week or two ago. But yes, I am going to be doing another. And I'm going to make it soon, too. I know that you guys have a hard time making it to this because it's so late. I'm shooting for like 4 hours earlier than usual. That's what I'm hoping for. So anyway, we'll see. I'll announce it. Just give it some time and I'll let you know. The first guest I have on the list here is Wheezy Backports. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Oh, hell yeah.
Hey, how's it going? You are a staff member on the Discord, aren't you?
Yep.
We haven't talked on here before, have we? Like on the podcast?
No. Not on the podcast, but a little bit in the voice channels.
Oh, yeah. We talk.
I usually don't say much.
Right. We talk pretty frequently outside of like the podcast and the voice channels and all that stuff, though. I figure. I mean, I see you around the Discord all the time, so that's pretty cool. So anyway, tell me, like, what religion were you originally? Are you still religious, or?
I used to be a Christian.
Okay, what kind? Do you know? Like, what denomination or whatever?
No specific one.
Interesting. So, how did your parents... I mean, I assume your parents were Christian. Did they raise you to be, like, extreme, or was it pretty relaxed?
No.
It's pretty chilled out then?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, like, what did you do? Did you go to church, like, once a week, or did you not go to church at all?
We never went to church.
Really? You didn't?
No, never had the time.
Huh.
Everybody was always working.
All right. Well, that's not a bad deal. Shoot. But they instilled the beliefs in you anyways, I guess.
Not really. They don't try to force anything upon me.
Well, that's not so bad then, huh?
No.
Well,
not.
tell me then, like, what was it that kind of got you interested in this corner of YouTube? Like, what got you interested in my channel and things like that?
When I was watching skeptic videos on YouTube, because I get bored sometimes, so I do that.
That's cool.
You came on autoplay, and I was like, okay, this man has a very great voice, so I'm gonna sit here and listen to whatever he says.
I appreciate that. That's awesome. Although I think I'm kind of monotone sometimes. I've gone back and listened to some of my old videos, and I have a lot of trouble getting through them because they're so monotone, you know?
I sticked around because you seem very different from everyone else.
Well, I appreciate that. That's pretty cool. I try to, I don't know, blaze my own path, I guess, or whatever. So that's pretty cool. Like, what other YouTube channels do you watch usually? It doesn't have to be skeptic stuff, but just anything in general. What do you usually watch on YouTube?
Technology-related type channels.
Right? Because you're pretty interested in, like, Linux and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about it. Like, what are you working on right now? You got any cool Linux projects happening?
I don't have any cool projects happening currently, but next year I go to college for Unix, Linux, database administration.
Really? You're going to college next year?
Yeah.
That is awesome. Database administration. What made you feel like getting into this field in the first place? Like, how did you get your start on this road?
Originally, how I got my start into more discovering Unix operating systems and other types of operating systems was, funny enough, Oracle VirtualBox. The first time I installed Ubuntu around a year ago, I installed VirtualBox just to check it out, since I've never used it. And I saw all these operating systems in the list that you could virtualize.
Right.
And then I started looking them up and researching them. And it became very interesting stuff to me. Yeah,
it is interesting. I know, for sure. So you said, what was the operating system you listed? The Linux distro?
Ubuntu.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
There's hot debate. I've always pronounced it Ubuntu. It's probably
it's
wrong,
all the
though.
Same thing.
Yeah. Well, I think it comes from like what is it, like a tribe of Native Americans or something? I don't remember. I'm probably just sticking my foot in my mouth right now, but there is a proper way to pronounce it. I don't know what it is. I guess it's Ubuntu then, probably. You think?
Anybody can pronounce it the way they want.
Okay, that works.
I don't.
Yeah, fuck it.
I don't care too much. I don't use Ubuntu anymore. I use Fedora now.
There you go. That's cool. Why did you switch to Fedora instead?
It's much cleaner, and it doesn't have apt or it breaks on you whenever you try to install and remove packages a lot.
Right.
DNF is so much cleaner.
I always used, from my understanding, I think that Google, like in their data centers, I think that they use a version of Fedora that they wrote. It's similar to Fedora. I think it's based on Fedora, but personally, I always used Debian for just personal use, and for business use, I used CentOS. I've never said these words out loud before, like MySQL. I don't say them out loud. I'm usually typing them, so I don't even know how to say them. Is it CentOS or CentOS?
It's said both ways.
Okay. So have you ever used that one before, CentOS or whatever?
I used to use CentOS a little bit. I used to use as the server distro as well.
I don't know why that one's like such a popular choice for servers and stuff, but it is. Like everywhere I've ever worked as an admin, it's always been CentOS. Kind of strange, but
it's a Red Hat but free, so
right.
That's why.
Yeah,
it's very stable.
I've heard that about Fedora also. I've heard that it's also a version of Red Hat that's free, kind of.
Yeah, but it's more of its testing stages.
Right. It's kind of strange that like people charge for Red Hat because it's open source and all that, but I guess they're charging for like the enterprise stuff on top of the OS, kind of, right?
Yeah. You're also charging for having someone to be able to bitch at when something goes wrong and you don't
Oh, do they have
understand
customer
it.
support?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
That's how a lot of these companies make their money with their open source software.
Right, that would make
It's
sense.
the customer support.
So what languages do you know? Like, what programming languages do you usually work with? Do you work with any, or are you mostly admin?
I don't know any programming languages at the
Really?
moment.
What about Bash? Certainly you know Bash.
I do a little bit of scripting sometimes, but it's nothing. It's usually just to get my system up and running
Right,
in
right.
like an hour.
So what is it that, I mean, I guess you're kind of steering toward the admin side of things and away from the programming side of things. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Is there any reason why you haven't gotten into the programming side? Just doesn't really interest you as much?
It interests me, but I've always seemed better at administration.
Right. I was talking to somebody a long time ago. Like, he's one of my coworkers at some software firm, and he was doing some admin work for us. He wasn't a coder. I was a coder, but he wasn't. So I asked him, like, why didn't you go with coding instead? Because he's just insane with bash scripting and stuff. And he said he basically did programming, or I'm sorry, he basically did admin stuff instead of programming because it's broken into smaller tasks. Like with programming, you spend 3 to 6 months working on this huge project with a team of other people and everything, but most of the time. But with admin work, you can just kind of get in there and get one single chunk of work done in like a few days' time, you know?
Yeah.
And that was kind of his preference for it, but I thought that was pretty interesting. So what's your plan? Like, what are you planning on doing when you get a little bit older? Do you have a career path that you're hoping to go for? Or?
I'll most likely just go into system administration for different companies.
You're going to go to college,
IT.
right? You said?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. That's good to hear. Do you know what you're going for? Like, do you know what the major's going to be yet, or no?
The database administration one
Right,
is the major.
right. Database.
It's the only one I have.
That's pretty cool. That's really exciting. Well, I hope that works out, and keep me apprised. I appreciate you coming on and talking to me. It's been super interesting, and I will talk to you around the Discord, okay?
Alright. I'll see you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I remember getting into all that stuff when I was younger. Like, I did some administration stuff. My dad ran a computer company that, like, it was like a computer repair shop, basically, and he always had computers around the house. There was always a computer around, and if there wasn't a computer around, then I could just grab a computer case and a power supply and a motherboard and a video card and a sound card and throw it all together into something that worked. But my dad actually, he was my inspiration for getting into computers. Like, I don't talk highly of him very often because he's, you know, he hasn't been a great influence in my life, and I don't talk to him at all anymore now. But he was the source of me getting into computers. Like, he was the reason why I got into it. He was the one who gave me that motivation, that interest, and that ability to use a computer and that knowledge. When I was, I think, like 12 or so, he bought me a case, a power supply, a motherboard, a CPU, a video card, a sound card, a network card, and he put them all on the kitchen table and told me, if you can put it together, then you can have it. And I did. I put the thing together, and I installed Windows 98 on it, and I had a monitor, just this giant CRT, like 19-inch CRT square thing. And it was just awesome, man. I sat in the computer room and set that thing up and never looked back. I just love I just love working on computers. And actually, that's what I did for Kylie for her birthday, was that exact thing. I got her the parts for a computer. It's not a particularly powerful one. It's an Intel i3. It's a Core i3. I think it's a TI 1050 video card. I don't remember exactly now. And just, you know, reasonably powerful enough to play Minecraft and stuff. And I got a copy of Windows, and I let her do everything. She did the whole thing herself. Like, I sat there with her while she did it and told her where the screws needed to go and things, but she put the screws in and screwed them in and popped the video card into the PCI slots and everything. She did it all herself. I mean, I held the power supply up for her while she put the screws in and stuff. And then she installed Windows herself. So, I don't know. I want her to be very literate with computers. I don't know that she's going to get into that field like I did. Probably not. But I want her to know her way around computers. I don't want her to be illiterate with computers. It's very important to me that she knows how to use them. So anyway, yeah. I appreciate you coming on and talking to me, Wheezy. That was pretty cool. The next person I have on the list is Wither Skelly. Hang on, let me unmute you. Are you there? Can you hear me? Testing?
Yeah.
How's it going?
All right.
That's good. So, we haven't talked in here before, right?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, we have? Really? On the podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, did you
I don't know when it was, but,
Did you have a different name at the time?
No, it was the same one.
Really? I do not remember that. How long ago was it?
I don't remember.
Very strange. Well, we'll catch up as we go, and I'll start to remember. So what religion were you originally? You're not religious anymore, are you?
No, I'm not religious anymore. I was Christian.
What kind of Christian? Do you know? Like, was it a denomination, or was it just kind of non-denominational?
I think it was Lutheran.
Oh, Lutheran. Okay, interesting. So what was it like growing up as a Lutheran? Were your parents extreme about it, or were they pretty relaxed?
Pretty relaxed, I think.
What kind of rules did you have and that kind of thing?
Like, pretty much none.
That's not so bad. Okay. So what was it like growing up in that religion? Tell me about it.
My parents were pretty hands-off. I mostly got to do whatever I wanted.
That's a pretty good deal. Doesn't sound too bad, actually.
Yeah. It was, more my grandma was annoying to deal with.
What was that?
My grandma was more annoying to deal with.
Oh, is she religious?
I don't think it was her being a religious. It was just her in general.
Oh, okay. How so?
Oh, she would make me come over to her house during, like, summer and make, like, scrub her floors and stuff.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
She wouldn't even pay you for it, huh?
No.
Yeah, that's messed up.
And this one time she purposely hid some money, thinking I'd find it and keep it. But when I found it and gave it back to her, she got mad at me.
What? It's messed up.
I know.
Some people are like that, I guess. So, were you close with her, or?
No.
Not super close?
Not really.
Yeah, it didn't sound like you were too happy with her, I guess, huh?
Nah.
What about your other family members? Are you, like, close with any of them, like your parents or anything?
I mean, not especially. My sister's pretty indifferent toward me. My parents, they don't interact with me that much.
You said you had a sister?
Yeah.
Do you have any other siblings?
Oh, yeah, I have a brother.
Oh, really? You do? Okay. So there are three of you then?
Yeah, I'm a trans woman, and he's very accepting of me.
He's accepting of you. That's good, right?
Yeah.
What about your other family? Are they accepting, or not so much?
I mean, kind of, but they're not very good on, like, pronouns and stuff.
That sucks. How long have you been out, like, to them?
Like a year. In fact, I'm moving out on Friday.
Oh, really? Are you pretty happy about it?
Oh, yeah.
So, do you want to say how old you are? You don't have to if you don't want to.
Oh, I don't mind. I'm 32 actually.
Okay. Very nice. That's pretty cool. I bet you're excited. Yeah. What are your interests? Like, where do your interests lie? What types of things you like to do?
really good at like cooking. I love doing that.
Oh, really? Cooking?
Yeah.
I've done a little bit of cooking, but not like, I don't know. I know how to cook. Like, my mom taught me how to cook. I've grown up cooking and things, but I don't really do it as much anymore. I just do it when I have to, mostly. Kylie does a lot of the cooking. So what kind of stuff do you like to cook?
I'm like about a few weeks ago, I
Yeah.
went from being vegetarian to vegan. So
Oh, really? That's an interesting transition. Why did you decide to do that?
it just felt like the right thing to do.
Mm.
I just noticed I wasn't really like drinking milk or anything.
Yeah.
So I figured, why not?
What was your reasoning for going vegetarian?
Oh, my dad, I think he was vegetarian before me.
Mm.
And he showed me this video of like a factory farm.
Mm.
And I was like, no.
Yeah, it definitely gets pretty ugly. I know that's true.
I'm really big on animals.
Yeah, big animal fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that they're really mistreated, and it's really horrific and sad.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely on board. I have not made the jump to vegetarian, but I do respect the decision to be. And honestly, I don't really. No, I eat sausage and stuff sometimes. So I was thinking, like, do I ever eat meat? Not super often, I don't think, but every now and then I do. Anyways, yeah, that's really good. I mean, that's good that that you're working on that and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So what, like, has it been a struggle to jump to veganism? Not really, or
Not really. I mean, my mom just gave me
vegetarian?
my mom isn't technically vegetarian. She'll still eat like fish and chicken and stuff.
Okay. But you don't eat any of that stuff, I guess, like fish or anything. I have heard of some vegetarians eating certain types of fish sometimes. I don't know. I guess that makes them not vegetarians, right? But
I guess. It really
I don't know.
depends.
There's some weird diet that people will eat that, like, it's basically vegetarianism, but they can eat fish too. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
Wait, it's called, somebody's telling me it's pescatarian? Is it called pescatarian? I think that's what it
I
is.
don't think I've ever heard of it.
Yeah, I've only heard of it in passing because I worked with somebody. I don't know, like, the last company I worked at, the people there were, like, they were, like, really progressive. I don't know if that's the right word, but there were a lot of vegetarians and stuff there. So
Okay.
it's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to work in an environment with, like, people who are reasonably progressive. I don't know. That's just me. I probably have a bunch of conservatives screaming at the...
One more thing I wanted to
Yeah,
mention.
yeah, go ahead.
When I was going to look at the apartment, I actually got approached by a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Was just checking out the convenience store there, and they came out and they were like trying to talk to me about Jesus and stuff.
Of course.
And since I was kind of in a hurry, I needed to get to my apartment showing. I was like, I'm a trans lesbian. Your religion isn't compatible with
Right? Exactly.
And then they were like, "Oh no, you're human," and
Uh-huh.
stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but you know what would be required if you wanted to join that, then they would just tell you, stop it. Simple as that. Just
I
stop
know.
it. It's ridiculous.
Because like they asked me if I believe in God, and then I just plainly said no, and then they like physically reared back.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then like I eventually asked them the question, would I be able to have a lesbian relationship? And then they started saying, well, God says Adam and Eve.
Uh-huh.
And I thought so. And
Yeah.
I walked away and they laughed at that.
Oh, these people. They try to be so accepting, but they're not at all. Like, they try to pretend to be accepting is what it is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty funny. But, yeah, anyway, appreciate you coming on and talking to me. It's been a really interesting discussion.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry that I didn't remember you from the last time. It's kind of strange.
I think I talked about a Jehovah's Witness at my door last time. Maybe?
Oh, okay. And you don't remember how long ago it was? You know what? You could, if you want, maybe find the link at some point and drop it in the Ask Telltale channel. Take a look. It's up to you. But anyway, yeah, I appreciate you coming on. I will talk to you next time, okay?
Okay.
All right. I remember one time I was going to a college, I was going to a university in my area, and every single day on the corner, there would be Jehovah's Witnesses with their little carts passing out books. And you know me, I'm just going to ignore it, move on with my life, not bother them, just leave them be, let them do their thing. Respect everybody, don't want to cause problems for anybody, don't want to, do any of that stuff. So I don't remember why I did this. I was pissed off over something, but I was driving by and I rolled down my window because they were talking to like 3 people trying to pass out books, and I was like, don't believe them, don't believe anything they say, or something like that. That probably just locked them into their position even deeper, like that, made their persecution complex even worse. Didn't help anything, but I did it, so it's done. Nothing you can do now. But the final person I have on the list here is, actually I have Daniel on the list. Do you want to talk, Daniel? I have you unmuted if you do. If not, then yeah. Okay. He says he's going to set up his mic. We'll give it a second. We'll wait for D-Snizzle. Dead air, dead air. There's dead air. I'm a bad singer. D-Snizzle. Waiting for D-Snizzle. Glenn is G-Snizzle. QF Glenn is G-Snizzle. Are you there, Potato?
Yeah, still here.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
It's cool. Anything cool happen in your life lately?
Helping run a really cool podcast.
That sounds amazing. I'm jealous. That's cool. So, you know what? Actually, do you have any questions for me? I might as well take a question.
Oh, for sure. We've got from Greenland Ball. Do you like pineapple on pizza?
I've never had it before, but I know somebody, namely Struck by Lightning in the Discord, who is going to coerce me into trying it. So, sometime in the near future, we'll see. So, no, but I'll tell you what I think when I have it. Oh, it looks like Daniel's back. Can you hear me? I think, let me unmute you, actually. Are you there? Can you hear me, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm here.
How's it going?
I'm good.
So tell me, like, what religion were you originally? Are you still religious, or?
No, I'm not religious anymore. I was born Anglican.
Anglican. I actually know a little bit about Anglicans. Not a lot, but from my understanding, it's kind of like Catholic Light. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Because they do, like, a lot of the same rituals and weird practices and stuff, from my understanding.
Yeah, but they're kind of pretty relaxed about everything.
Right. So it's like Catholic, but mostly relaxed for the most part.
Yeah.
By the way, you are a staff member on the Discord, aren't you?
Yeah.
Had a lot of staff members on tonight. That's pretty cool. I appreciate all of the work you do and all of the work Wheezy does and all of the other staff members. That's really awesome that you guys want to help me out. I just wanted to mention that. But anyway, so about Anglicans, what was it like growing up? I mean, in that religion, were your parents pretty extreme about it, or were they pretty relaxed?
No, they're pretty relaxed. Sorry if I don't have anything to contribute to this, since I'm just,
Oh, no, you're fine. We're just chit-chatting. No pressure. Just hang out and talk.
No pressure. Since nothing actually happened, nothing much happened when I was growing up. I'm still growing up with my parents. My grandparents are pretty relaxed about it, too.
Your grandparents are relaxed, you said, about it?
Yeah. I lived in my grandparents in Australia. Lived, I guess, during the summers and stuff. Like, go to them.
Right, got you. So, what was it that kind of got you interested in this corner of YouTube? What was it that brought you to these types of videos?
Skeptic channels?
Yeah.
Well, it started when I was 12, and I was just jotting about everything. So basically, I just searched on YouTube and why am I jotting stuff? Is it okay? And then
Right.
well, I got into the cult section, and I just found out that about the Jehovah Witnesses stuff, and
Right.
yeah,
that's cool. So, was I like the first skeptic channel that you really got into, or?
No, I watched Professor Stick.
I knew it.
Engineer.
Wait, did you say Professor
Stick,
Stick and who was the other one?
Cordless Engineer.
Okay, yeah, he's pretty cool. I actually went to the Creation Museum with him a little while back, and we filmed it and everything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. Actually, we're kind of talking about doing like I don't know, like an Ark Encounter trip one of these days. Me and Godless Engineer and stuff. Some others, possibly. I was hoping to get Apologia to come, but I think he may be banned from the premises. Shannon Q is 100% welcome to come. Oh, okay. Well, shoot, I'd love to get Shannon Q and Paul to come if they could come. That would be amazing. But anyway, have you ever been to like America before, or?
I've never been to America. I'm always in Oceania. Either it's Australia or New Zealand.
Right. I heard you mention Australia earlier. You live in New Zealand though normally?
Yeah, I do it. Not for the summers. I go to Australia during the summer and stuff.
Got you. And then the normal school year, I guess you're in New Zealand then.
Yeah.
That's cool. How do you like it there?
It's called mild, 15 degrees throughout the year.
I understand it's like a kind of a tropical area, right? Are you on the South Island or the North Island?
The South Island. Oh, wait, the North Island.
The North Island, okay. That's cool. I've never met somebody from the South Island before. But I understand
the South Island has nothing actually relevant in it.
Yeah. Do you know if it ever snows, like, in New Zealand on any of the islands? Are you there? Testing? Did I lose you? That's too bad. We lost Daniel. Oh, well. No big deal. It is actually... we've been on for longer than 1 hour, so it's actually time to go anyways. But I do appreciate you coming on, Daniel, and maybe we can talk again one of these days if you want. I mean, you're a staff member, so you can come on pretty much any time. But yeah, appreciate you guys coming on and talking to me. It's been super interesting. It's been a lot of fun, and I will talk to you next week.